What is going on, my fellow YouTubers? My name is Batman, and I could have sworn Infinity Ward was talking mad shit about dedicated servers to hype up this game, but you know what? Either that was a dirty lie, or they should really get their money back for those servers, because as this clip demonstrates, the seemingly omnipresent lag that has been a staple of the Call of Duty series thus far is still very much alive and glitching. I have suffered through tremendous amounts of lag and rage throughout my lifespan on Call of Duty. Back during Black Ops 1 when I was 15, still playing football, had that testosterone pumping through every vein from my dick to my brain. I remember I was on Havana playing some Demolition and this motherfucker teleported around the corner and killed me. And then I had Attack Insert and he killed me again. And I stomped on my fucking Xbox until it broke, and that was the stupidest I have ever felt in my life. And since then I've learned a wide range of tips and tricks, not only for controlling my rage, but for combating lag, and I will share these with you here now so that the sacrifice of my Xbox might serve to save a few dozen of yours, and that the tears and the blood from the cut on my foot jammed in the entrails of my console, it will have all been for something. For starters, you need to have your Xbox directly plugged into your modem via an Ethernet cable. If you're connecting wirelessly across your house or whatever, you're shooting yourself in the motherfucking foot, okay? Short of plugging in an Ethernet cord, there is no legitimate way to make this work. I used to connect wirelessly. I had the fastest Comcast internet package, and I even bought a router specifically designed for gaming. Like on its box it said, this will give you lightning fast speed for gaming. And you know what? The difference is still night and day when compared to the power of an Ethernet cable. And Ethernet cables are also cheaper. And in regards to Ethernet cables, don't worry about length. It travels at the speed of light, so there's no tangible difference between a 5-foot cable and a 100-foot cable, in the sense that the difference in time is so incredibly minuscule that our brains cannot even detect it. If you're now in the market for an Ethernet cord, you'll want to get the Cat 6A for maximum bandwidth capability. It's a little more expensive than the other stuff, but as far as wasting money goes, there are worse things in the world. If you're stuck connecting wirelessly, my problem was that my grandma didn't want me running a cord down the length of the stairs because people might trip on it. Then there are a few tips that will assist in this situation. The main thing is you want to minimize as much as possible all EM or physical interference in between your console and the modem. Get the console as close as possible to said modem, obviously. If possible, try and get a direct line of sight between the two, right? Just like in Call of Duty, a straight line with no doors or walls or stables or corpses in between, no obstructions. Do your best to reduce EM interference around that line of sight and also around your console and computer. Specifically, if you have a smartphone, put it on airplane mode or turn it off. Smartphones close to either device or in between cause a lot of EM interference because they are constantly connected and sending and receiving to various towers and satellites around the world. If your modem or console is right next to a computer, you should consider disconnecting it from the internet. And also, wireless controllers cause signal interference as well. Anything communicating via EM waves, which basically is any wireless electronic, causes interference. Another thing worth mentioning is installing both discs onto your hard drive will actually solve a lot of issues that you might actually think are connection related. Like if you have that problem where you're in the lobby before the game and then the game starts, but you're on the loading screen, and by the time you get into the actual match, it's already been in progress for like 10 or 15 seconds. That, more often than not, can be solved by installing the discs onto your hard drive. And installing discs is actually really smart for a whole lot of reasons. Less wear and tear on your machine, faster loading times, less bugs and glitches, which you might also be attributing to lag, etc., etc. So I highly recommend you do that. And also, in regards to hardware issues mistaken for lag, there's actually a 50 millisecond delay from the Call of Duty world to your TV screen. And considering you kill people in less than 50 milliseconds, that is a very long time. And for those of you who watch a lot of YouTube, if you look at any big YouTuber setup video, they are always playing on a computer monitor. So, if possible, you should play on a computer monitor also. Now, the TV screen delay, for those of us, myself included, who don't have a monitor to play on, mine's from like 1998, so it just can't handle it. Don't stress too hard on it because 95% of the players you run into will also be playing on a TV, thus evening things out. But if you are suffering from lag for any number of reasons, switching to a monitor can help make up for it and put you on an even playing field, kind of, with the opposition. Another common problem is the NAT type. You really want your NAT to be open. I'm sure you've heard this before. If it's closed or moderate, you're shooting yourself in the foot. The two simplest solutions are to disconnect and reconnect the modem, or otherwise go into System Settings, Network Settings, Configure Network, Advanced Settings, Restore Factory Defaults. Hit that button. That usually does the trick for me. If neither of those work, I suggest Googling it. There are a lot of other in-depth solutions that have, you could dedicate an entire video to those kind of solutions because they're kind of complicated. But they are available, and I'm sure one of them will solve your problem. And as a last resort, call the provider. But only as a last resort, because calling internet providers makes me want to put a hole through my head. Now, probably the most frequent problem that we gamers face is having to share the internet. Netflix is the bane of gamers everywhere. Now, obviously, for the best internet speed, you don't want any other devices using the internet in any way whatsoever while you are gaming. But a lot of the time, this is out of your control. We have families that are as addicted to the internet as we are. Little brother's watching porn in the other room, and he's a little deviant, switching in between 10 different videos at the same time. Big sister is also watching a lot of porn in her room, and the parents are watching porn together in their room. And afterwards, they're probably going to put on Arrested Development on Netflix. So, I don't live with my parents or grandma anymore, but when I did, I developed some strategies for dealing with they bitch asses, alright? The easiest of these is politely asking them to exit out of any windows they are not using. A lot of people tend to leave a bunch of tabs and or windows open at the same time that they are no longer using. I myself am guilty, and in particular, parents suffer from this problem. In fact, I believe the older the person is, the harder it is for them to exit out of windows. In my experience, there is a direct ratio between the two. So, if they have email and Facebook and Amazon up while they're watching a YouTube video, just be like, hey motherfucker, why don't you exit out of the goddamn bullshit you're not using anymore? You're clogging the internet like a dead squirrel clogs the toilet. Now, of course, sometimes you do have to take matters into your own hands, maybe sneak onto their computers while they're not around and exit out of the windows yourself. Or another strategy, if your whole family is fucking around and nobody will be cool enough to exit out of the shit they ain't using, go disconnect the modem, and then when you plug it back in, only the pages they are using or refresh will start using the internet again. So if they have 10 tabs open, you disconnect the internet and reconnect it. If they still only use one of their windows after that, those other 9 tabs will be disconnected in their own special way. So keep that up. So one of the two things that might also happen if you want to try disconnecting the modem is, one, preferably they'll give up and go watch cable or read a book or something, or two, they'll start flipping out and talking about calling Comcast, in which case you should just reconnect the thing. So, and that kind of stuff, if they're tech savvy, that kind of stuff won't work because they can check the modem on their own. But in my experience, most parents aren't that tech savvy. Anyways, those are some of the strategies that I've developed in my hard, grueling years of Call of Duty. I hope they might assist you in your quest to answer the Call of Duty. And please, remember to rate the video. This is Batman, signing out.
Ammo crate ready.
Nice work, Ghosts. Well done.